The thing that concerns me the most right now, I think it's also very personal back home, is that what certain countries are doing without suffering any consequences is teaching a lesson to other countries that they could do horrible things without suffering any consequences at all. So that's what keeps me up at night right now. It's real, it's back home, and it's happening. We are hosting, people refugiating from Ukraine back in Romania. It's heartbreaking, and I just wanted to share this with you because it's keeping me up at night.
I would say just like a general lack of apathy and disregard to others' priorities, because like right now there's Americans annoyed with gas prices, right? Not importing Russian oil, and there's people who are losing their homes, their families, loved ones, and so just that priority that are those two priorities that are placed on the same level but are so different, and just the lack of empathy that lets that happen. I think we need to get past that.
So I feel like a lot of countries are living in this shadow of history where they remember the 1900s, 2000s about like raging war and trying to gain power and become a supremacy. And this really goes against I think what we would all agree on, future vision of a shared global village of the world without war, with perhaps one day open borders where everybody is seen as human and not as another nationality, ethnic group, race that is not welcomed. And I think export really tries to go against that.
One thing that really keeps me awake at night is journalistic sensationalism. We see death and bombing happening every day on TV, but that doesn't necessarily make those lives more important compared to people who are dying behind the scenes. We cannot forget about the 400,000 people who die of malaria, the 1 billion people who are susceptible and who might die from 20-something kinds of neglected tropical diseases we have probably never heard of.
You ask me now what keeps me up at night? Russia. I have had the privilege of attending a university where I've had the chance to meet people from all over the world and very dear loved ones who are now trapped under what's happening. And there's no sugarcoating it. That's what keeps me up at night.
And I think more than that, it's the dissonance of how lucky we are and how lucky we have been to have received such an amazing education and to have broken out of cycles of generational traumas and so many. We could have easily been in a very different situation right now. And I think that feeling of guilt is something that I think I was never thought I would have to experience or prepared for. And you kind of, 4 years ago, I came to a university and received an amazing education, and I never thought that by the end of 4 years, I would feel more scared and worried as equally as lucky. And I think that feeling of something has to be done, and I don't know how I can do it, is what's always going to be going around in my head.
The fact that we've had the chance to be involved for the last 4 years in a place where we say we're meeting the world, so therefore we can do anything, we can change it, we can build a better future. And now it seems like all that work is being taken aback by the ambition and lack of humanity of. It's heartbreaking and it's disheartening.
We had sleepless nights in Romania going back and forth to the border, picking up people, trying to find hotels, people's houses, opening our own houses to families, that didn't have where to go. And to me, that made me, for once in a very long time, very proud to be Romanian, to be Ukrainian, to be part of that community that in this crisis shows so much humanity. So in that very dark light, there is still some hope for me, for humanity.
As a next generation leader, what keeps me up at night is for people and countries to resolve the war, to solve small issues. I think that us as humans, we're always born to be caring, to care for the other, and for people to abolish that and resolve the war is a concerning thing. What we see happening, what we saw happening many years ago, over 70 years ago, in the World War, we thought that it was in the past, and now we see that probably happening again in the near future. And the support that we see from global leaders, from the world, offering support to Ukraine, and the neighboring countries opening their doors to the Ukrainian, is a very ambitious and a very positive thing.
Together, there are more countries that are willing to help than tyrants that want to harm. So if we want to keep something and we want to see more light than darkness, I think that this is what we should keep. That people, that being together is not in the future, as you said. It is now. There are some tyrants that are causing catastrophe, but I think that the world has showcased and is showcasing and is trying to showcasing day by day that we will not let tyrants bring catastrophe to the rest of the world. So I have a positive outlook to the future.
What kind of keeps me up at night is that we are forgetting history. Like, we really are forgetting, one-dimensionalizing, if that's even the word, history. For example, as you said, like about the world wars, we usually look at people who started wars, and we just say, oh, that's a horrible person, that's it, right? And which is true, but that's too one-dimensional. We're forgetting how, for example, someone who started a war got to that point. We're forgetting that even the most horrible and horrendous people in this world were also human, and they had their traits, and we are one-dimensionalizing history, and now that exposes to being tricked again by those same people, right? Because we one-dimensionalize them. And now if we see someone who's charismatic, for example, a politician, he's charismatic, is this, that, we say, oh, no way he can do anything bad, right? He's not like those leaders from the past who were, like that. But then you realize, yeah, they can. And it is happening again, because we are oversimplifying history, and we are forgetting the lessons we were supposed to learn. And I am very, very worried, and to be fully honest, I'm very scared that we will repeat our mistakes again. I'm not very optimistic that, about this.
I have a personal experience in this because I'm from South Sudan, which is distracted by war, loss, like human loss, and material, like we have like a lot of material loss as well. And nobody's living in the country right now. Like, everyone fled for their own life. And I think everyone have right to live. Like, you have right to live, to enjoy your life with your family, and nobody have the right to take it, even if for their personal reason. So we all deserve to live and do what we can, for our own self. And seeing and hearing all this conflict happening in the world right now, it is unexpected, and it is not something that is supposed to happen. Like, both on warring parties, people are dying, and it does not matter how strong you are. Like, your people will die. So I learned in history about world wars, and you just think that, these are the past thing. And when I heard about what happened, I was like, this is unexpected, because you learn about something that happened in the past, and it is repeating right now, and you don't expect it to be part of it. Like, basically, I just want to learn things in the past. I just want to see that, this happened in the past, and that is it. It doesn't have to repeat it, because we know how much it causes. We know how many people died. And we see the result right now, how it is affecting us today. So I think, being part of this community, we need to leave aside our differences and work toward humanity. There's a lot of things, there are amazing things that we can do together when we come together.
I've seen, Russia was saying, they're trying to remove the Nazi government. That's what they said, from Ukraine. And I've seen people on Instagram saying, yeah, remove the Nazi government. I'm like, guys, did you read history books? Do you know what a Nazi government does? Like, don't you learn history, right? So I think our generation has a problem that we're just not educated in history, and we will repeat it.
Yeah, in addition to that as well, I think despite all this conflict, I think we can just find the solution, you know, how we can move forward, because things are happening right now, but we are the solution solver. Like, we have to find a way to get out of this conflict.